There are hidden emotional costs involved in a divorce, and usually, first of all, it's the fact that you don't really know what to expect in a divorce, and when you're in the middle of it, you're being hit with issues that you weren't expecting. You weren't also expecting the emotional trauma involved with divorce. Sometimes your case can get contested, and you're dealing with fighting with your spouse while dealing with children being affected by all this litigation, and so that is a thing that many people don't realize and need to be prepared for. And I always recommend, when you determine it's necessary, to get some kind of individual therapy to help you walk through that. Your attorney can help you only so much, but sometimes you also need to get your own mental health taken care of with a therapist to help you walk through and deal with this, because it's not an easy process, and everybody's human and everybody needs to have help sometimes. And your mental health is important to be dealt with in your divorce. A lot of people don't really consider what are the effects of divorce on somebody's daily life. Well, I think the biggest thing to consider is that at some point before your divorce, you were an intact family. You were all living together. You were all sharing expenses. You were sharing things like taking the kids to activities, to school, extracurricular activities, sporting events, and so on. And then all of a sudden, generally, you're not living together and you have a whole different world that you're dealing with. You're also dealing with a situation where you've had all your kids under the same roof with you forever. And then all of a sudden, you may not have that anymore. They may be living with each parent at different times of the week. And that situation can be difficult to deal with for somebody that's used to seeing their kids every single day. As an attorney, one of the things that bothers me a lot is that people don't realize the financial ramifications of divorce, in particular, highly contested custody or divorce cases where people spend tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes with many of those people not having the money to really spend on this. And yes, I'm a divorce attorney, and yes, I make money from these type of cases, but that doesn't mean I encourage that. And my problem with these type of divorce cases is that people spend too much money to the point where it affects their financial future. It affects the ability to send their kids to college. All sorts of issues that can lead to financial ramifications that can really hurt a family for many years to come. That bothers me on a personal level. What I try to do is avoid that when I can. Yes, sometimes you have to litigate cases for the sake of your children, but you don't have to have a scorcher's policy to spend a ton of money where you're going to financially hurt yourself, you're going to hurt your kids, and it's not worth it. We try to navigate you through your case so that you can avoid that as much as possible. I've been practicing for well over 25 years at this point, and what encourages me is sometimes I have clients that actually will realize that they've learned something in the process of divorce, which is they shouldn't be having unrealistic expectations, that they really should listen to their legal counsel who's trying to help navigate them through their case in a way that makes sense for them financially, emotionally, and mentally. And it is very enlightening to me when I see a client come to that realization that you can get through this in a way that you're protecting your interest while also protecting yourself financially, emotionally, you're protecting your kids. So I like when I see a client come to that realization and realize they don't have to fight over everything. So if you have any other questions that other people might not tell you about divorce, we'll tell you. Feel free to contact Module Law Firm for more information.